Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. How you doing?
Good.
How's the
So the
week?
monthly stats have been released from TREB, the Toronto Real Estate Board,
Hmm.
and we both looked at some numbers. And obviously, we're back down. It's the same kind of thing, right? Where our solds are way lower and our inventory is higher.
Yeah, yeah. And if we look back, a little bit to the start of the spring market, of 2023, we saw January, Feb, no inventory, which is pretty normal. We saw some decent sales come out of that time frame. Closer to spring came along, saw a little even more buyers kind of return to the market. We saw some pricing, a lot of different pricing strategies,
Bidding
overbid,
wars.
bidding wars, lots of traffic, et cetera, et cetera. And let's just say that probably played up to, I don't know,
June.
May, June-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. July was better than expected, right? We've seen some decent activity in July. In the summer months, was, better than expected. And then come the fall market, things really kind of changed quickly in September and October that I found. And then looking at the pricing, and we'll talk about other markets too, what we see, but looking at the pricing in October 23 to October 22, it's pretty flat, right?
Yeah.
More inventory, yes, but the prices aren't really going down and they're not kind of really going up.
Well,
Some
they did go up in kind of May and June. So if you look at the begin, like in the middle of the year till now, they have gone down a bit. But last year at this time, they were at the same level as now. They were down too.
Well, that's it. And and we talked about my house, my townhome that I sold in when I saw March and got 765 for it. I don't think I get 765 for that townhouse today,
I don't think so either.
right? And nice townhouse and nice upgrades and etc. But I just don't think the market is there or more. The footsteps are there to because it's all driven by traffic, right? People viewing and back to the market. It's just not there right now. And I kind of think we're kind of the buyers today are kind of uncertain right now, right? Lack of showings on listings, just footsteps to houses, slow,
They're
slow.
waiting.
They're waiting. They're sitting out right now, right?
Yeah.
And I do think things are going to get better. I really do. In 2024, looking at some posts on social media, I follow a bunch of mortgage guys, and of course they jumped on the bandwagon the last couple of days, and and having some good information on where these inflation and pressures are coming from, and it's all through higher
Well, yeah,
rates.
and I want to do a separate podcast on 2024 because I think there's enough to talk about just in that. Right now on TREB, we had 142 solds.
Mhm.
The year to date solds were 1,976 for this whole year.
Mhm.
Active, we have 674 listings, which
That's a
includes condos, right?
okay.
But on October 2022, we had 174 solds.
Mhm.
So we're down
18,
32, a
18.
third, yeah, 32. And the year to date was 2109.
Mhm.
So we're a couple hundred off there too. And the actives though,
Not much so, not a couple hundred. If we're year to date at 1976 for 23 and 21, 09 for last year, we're down 6.3% off sales, not prices. We
off
say
sales.
off
Now,
sales.
the other thing that for me is kind of the worrisome thing is the actives last year were only 418.
Yeah.
Like the inventory was way lower.
Mhm.
And if
Mhm.
we're averaging 140 or 150 sales,
Mhm.
we have like 5 months of inventory.
Mhm.
And
We do.
last year we didn't have that.
No, we didn't. We
And it
didn't.
was still slow and shitty.
Yes. And it's kind of, if we look at this at a normal base, economics, we'd think, more supply would drop prices, but we're not seeing that. So my question is, in some categories, maybe we are. Yes, we know that. And that's a whole different world. But as the overall market, different price ranges are slipping and some are just hanging in there pretty good, and we know where they are the lower ranges. But who are the buyers? We always hear immigration, and we do. I just wish we had a better tool to find out who's actually buying.
Yeah, well, my showings right now, I actually have a couple going on. The ones I've got in Aurelia are Barrie agents, and the one in Barrie is Toronto.
Right. And that's been the norm for years, right? Like, we're seeing consistent people coming up here from the city house shopping, right? As their markets become unaffordable, they travel north. As Barrie markets become unaffordable, they travel north, Aurelia and further on, right? So
your listing that you have at a low price right now, who are you getting? Toronto?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's only, it's going to be interesting to see what the activity is going to be like this weekend.
Are you doing an open house?
Going to do open house Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, I'm doing one too. So and we're both close to the same price range. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, hopefully some people come up. I think our window of selling, 4 more weeks, it's done. Less than 4, I think. Right? Soon as that snowfall comes along, progressing through November, things are going to get quieter and quieter.
Well, you know what? This is what worries me though, because last year we didn't have close to the amount of inventory we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a shit ton of inventory. People on the market over 30 days. Are we going to see some fire sales now? Because it's winter's coming. Maybe. So what do I do now?
Maybe. For people today, they're sitting on the fence. Should I list right now? My recommendation is no. Right? Unless there's a need to list, to sell, whether, hey, you know what?
Somebody's passed.
Somebody's
passed,
financial. We want to move. Right? We're sick of this house. We're done. Whatever. But I really believe the sentiment is going to change, and it's going to, right? As if I'm looking at financial markets today, as I follow them closely, markets have had a good run the last couple of days because the tone's been changed. I look at the US economy as a guidance, and everyone else benchmarks off them. I think they're going to see, equities do better. Bond yields have come. Can they maintain that? So the cost of borrowing in these fixed rates is dropping, which is good, right? Are we going to see the Bank of Canada lower in 2024? Well, yeah, we are. I really don't think it's the second quarter of 2024. I think it's somewhere in the first quarter, because we had a print of the Q3 GDP and it was negative 0.01. That's 2 quarters in a row where we're negative. We're technically in a recession, and that's where I think the uncertainty comes in. And if we get some pressure relief on the rates, we all know what's going to happen. What's going to happen? You tell me.
Everyone's going to come rushing back.
Everyone's going to come rushing back. And then what's going to happen with prices?
They're going to go up.
They're going to go up. That's it. Right? How many times have we seen that? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the future of this, to me, the market's done for 2023, right? 4 weeks left, whatever. But looking beyond that, I think 2024 could be a decent year.
Hit the like, subscribe, or drop us a comment if you have any questions on our videos.
Absolutely.
I think that's all I have for the numbers now, because honestly,
I got some.
Okay, what do you got?
Yeah, let's go through this and we'll continue the chat. So I broke it down by detached towns and semis just in a freehold. So from this year to last year, like no particular price range, just detached towns and semis. So in 2023, for the month of October, we've seen 89 detached properties sell. October 22, 147, 39% decrease in detached. But we know what, we know where it is. It's in the higher ranges.
Yeah.
where there's a ton of inventory. Towns were almost neck to neck, 24 and 22 and 19 in 23, 20%, 5, big
Yeah.
deal. Which we kind of particularly, I wasn't surprised to see that number at all. And maybe next month we go back and we kind of see if we can track that inventory on these categories would be good. But I'm assuming at 2022 October, I don't know what the inventory was like in the town.
There wasn't a lot because
No.
I had a listing at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember going through all the comparables and stuff. There wasn't a lot.
No,
You got to remember the inventory was way lower.
it was a lot lower. So good number. And then semis, there's only a handful anyway. Like I don't really use that as a big gauge. In 2022, there was 14 sales and 6 this year, but they're a handful, right?
There's not a lot in the city really.
No, that's done. Let me just see. An inventory sitting at 561 as of today. So last week we were sitting at 571. So that's telling me that again, which we expected, we're not seeing more product being listed this time of year, which is normal.
Yeah.
Not a surprise. Average days in September to sell was 22. In October, it was 25 days to sell a typical property on the market. Some less, some more. And, got a couple of points I want to kind of go through too, and we'll bounce some things off each other. But, we've seen a few deals and listings come up right there. We go, holy cow, that's a good, wow, see what that's sold for? Wow, do you see what they're listed for? Yeah, I do. Are they holding off on offers? No. Oh, wow, kind of shocked. So I think there's some sellers out there that are scared.
Well, yeah, and I think there's some sellers that are pricing aggressively because they know the agent's probably telling them like winter's coming, it's going to be Deadsville, there's a lot in the market. They're pricing it aggressively to get it gone.
Yeah, and that's probably a motivated seller right there. And those type of properties, when they're listed like that, they're going to sell.
Yeah.
They're going to sell. We talked about a lot of people holding off their purchases until next year. A lot of the market is doing that, right? Really technically due to a little bit of uncertainty and high borrowing costs. So
and they think prices are going to go down. Like I've heard a lot of, or read a lot of articles where they're saying, well, the prices are going to keep going down right now, like for a bit. And you have done some, some look and research into the Toronto area and those places around us, south of us, and they're not getting hurt like we are right now.
No, let's jump over that because I got some numbers. That's a good point. Hang on. So in Toronto, again, I don't like to use the average list price, but I'm going to because that was the data that was in front of me. Prices were flat to last year, but in TO, average price is $1,125,987. Last year, $1,087,625, up 1.4% in price. So pretty flat, but they're not getting impacted as I think as much as we are up here. And I'm sure they're experiencing the same thing where some buyers are waiting and stuff like that. But I don't know, some of those markets are pretty strong down there.
I know, and I've heard the same thing. Like Bradford's not great, Newmarket's not great. But there's some markets, and I was showing down in like Etobicoke area and stuff, and the market's pretty strong there, boy. Like it's not the same here.
No, a lot of multiple bids. Again, do we have the right inventory for the right buyer in Barrie today? I don't know.
I think so. That like I was looking for my clients 750 and under. And there's still like 30 listings there.
Yeah, there is
like at 750 and under, that's quite like, or there's more than that. I'd have to actually look, but that's still quite a lot in that low price range.
But that's the most active range in our community, right? I don't know. I think if we could match the product a little bit better so we know it's not the Barrie buyer buying. Right, we know it's the North York and
Brampton, Peel,
right in those areas buying up here. What's their affordability like? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's not in the higher ranges in Barrie. It's not over the $1 million range in Barrie, because that's the most suffering in this community. It's still in that sweet spot of just say 6 to 8 to 9, depending. That's the range that is actively moving today. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm
actually checking right now on the Barrie board, which we might be a little bit out.
Yeah, check it out. And
Yeah, on that price range. And yeah, because I was checking yesterday and I thought, well, I got quite a few to look through here. Like, you
yeah,
know, and normally in that lower range, there's not that many. Not
no.
really, you know.
But,
And I had a lot to look through.
well, we know the start of the fall market, it got all
Oh,
front.
geez, Mark. From 500 to 750,
Uh,
128.
yeah, that's a lot. And there's towns, semis mixed in there,
Yeah.
detached.
So what I started doing is I went to just, and I can do it right now. I went to just detached
Yeah,
because my client wants just a detached house, right?
yeah.
So I'll do it right here, right live as we speak, and just do the detached because he does not want anything that's attached. So detached. I'm almost there.
That's okay. I'm going to get you to do a couple more when you pulled up those numbers. I think the viewers would mind hearing some where this inventory and the detached, and then we'll go to the towns.
Yeah, I'm almost there. 46.
46. Okay. How many of those 46 are conditionally sold? Let's say we
I none.
none. They're all active, nothing conditionally sold in that range.
I've unchecked the conditionally sold.
Okay, okay. All right.
None of them.
Okay. There's
So
a
now
bit.
if I go to attached,
Are you going to detached or attached? Like
now
towns?
I'm at attached, there's 74.
74, which includes what? Towns and semis and links?
Yep.
Yeah, and probably 50 of those are towns. 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms.
I can try 34.
34, right? Okay. So that's lower than it was last week. I think it was 54 last week,
Wow.
in that range. Pull up what's $1 million and up active listings
Okay.
that are active on the board today. Because we
Okay.
talk about that range quite a bit. We talk about that it's not moving and it's
Now I got to do the 999, right?
I do 999 and up to whatever. Right. But I bet there's 145.
Here we go. 84.
84. Wow. That's come down a little bit too. Okay.
That's from, well, you got to remember I'm on the Barrie board here too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm used to Trev numbers. So
Well, the
let's
problem is, yeah, it's probably a
go to
little bit
Trev.
more. My
Go to
issue
Trev.
is I can't, so I have 84. Yeah. The
Go to
problem
Trev.
is I can't go on Treb on my phone while
Oh, the reason why viewers
I
that we
can't
want
put the authenticator in, you know?
to Trab is because it's more realistic board because we're seeing, there's a lot of out of town agents. So Diane's numbers that I feel from the Barrie board are it's not a true representation because those numbers are a lot higher than the Toronto
Yeah. So
board.
what you got to do is you got to add some to it. But my
Yeah.
point was there was a lot of listings and there'll be even more if you go on Treb.
Oh, I'm certain, and I've, you know what, next one we do that, we break it down a bit more detailed. There's well over 100, I can tell you that.
Well, and the lower price range, there's still quite a bit, Mark.
There's still quite a bit of inventory. It hasn't really decreased very much from week to week that we're seeing. Here's what I'm seeing in the board today when I want to check the board most days. Updates. Okay, so there's I don't know, 60 updates. And all those updates, we see price changes, conditionally solds, terminations, and expireds. Yes.
And solds.
Solds. Mainly they're filled with terminations. And
Yeah,
people
I checked yesterday, and out of the 94 updates, there was like 10 solds or not even.
I know. So we're seeing a handful of solds on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right. So, again, pricing's okay in a sense from last year to this year, but I'm thinking someone's at my door, but they're gonna have to wait. It's going. He might come and do an inspection. Whatever. We're gonna keep
We're
going.
almost done anyway.
But it's the pricing. It's the pricing of. That I think a lot of pricing is wrong out there today. Right.
Well, I think they're still going off the May and June numbers. We have come down since May and June. We have.
Here's an example. I'm going to talk about this one because it jumped out. It jumped out at me. Hang on. I call it Dud of the Week. It's property listed at 146 Athabasca. Okay. Really, really sharp price point. Like, I mean, it's going to drive footsteps. Driving footsteps, not going to your home. Listed 19 days ago at $789,000. Like, that's 2022 January pricing.
Yeah.
Where'd the agent get that number? I know where he got it. He just picked it out of the top of his head. That doesn't make any sense, and I'm bashing agents, but I don't give a shit. It's the lack of effort to understand a market that you're doing business today is just not there.
Or it's the client. It's the client saying my neighbor got 800,000 a year ago, and
that doesn't, that agent or he or she should be up and jumping up and down and saying, hey, you know what? That's not the price that we're at. Here's the price we should be. Long story short. That was yesterday. They relisted that at $699. I still think it's too high.
Yeah.
It's a corner of Athabasca in Essa. That's
the white one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Busy. That's a busy intersection.
Well, they paid high money for that, from that builder.
They did, but they bought at the peak. They're probably losing. But, there's where the pricing matters today. And I really think there's a lot of agents out there that are overpricing some properties. I think we could see more sales if they were priced, not saying giving them away, but priced for where the market is today. And we both know that market could change week to week sometimes. And look how many shifts we've seen this year. Seen a lot of shifts.
Yeah.
People have to react to those shifts more.
Yeah. Even when I price mine, I don't know if I'm going to get it. Maybe.
I'm going to find out.
Well, my client needs a certain number because, he just bought it and had a job change and, a change of life. And now, just like you said, has to sell it or rent it. So, I mean, I don't know if the market's going to give him it. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
It is done now. It's done nice. It's all redone, right? So maybe, I don't know. In that price range, everything's shitty. So
yeah, let them test it and see. But I'm more leaning towards more renting.
I think so too. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
But
anything you want to say to people that are listed right now or buyers
I think buyers should really start being serious right now because and I called my one buyer and I said, listen, the rates are going to go down in 2024. Yep. The worst time of the year is right now. There's a lot on the market. So you better think about buying before this uptick happens. Because we see the market change in a week.
Yep.
And I don't know when the change is going to come.
Yep.
But the change is going to come. I wish I could sing like that Cindy or Rivera or whatever. Change is going to come. It's coming. Like, it's going to come.
It is. Right. And maybe, again, the mortgage guys see a lot of activity, what's coming up too. Right. And they, we have contact with some because, hey, we've seen a big increase in pre-approvals this week. And so that's an indication, hey, buyers are kind of coming back and checking out. But I agree to your point that I think, buyers should start thinking about, you're going to pay more next year. It's coming. And
well, you know what the thing is, Mark, and this is what I said to my client. I said, listen, nobody can time it perfectly.
10th.
By the time we know that it's changed, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
too
so,
late, you know?
quick recap, sales flat, sales down. Sales,
Lots of inventory.
lots of inventory, and prices are on par where they were last year. So no real big deviations in price, just deviations in sales numbers and deviation in inventory.
Yeah.
Safe to say. All right.
Well, sale prices have gone down since May or June.
Yeah, 100%. Throughout the year, we've seen shifts, right?
Yeah. So if your neighbor sold in June for $750, you're probably not getting that right now.
Yeah, you're not.
No.
You're not. Okay. Awesome.
Okay, talk later.